Welcome back to the final video of the series on the CYROS WebGIS. In this video, we'll take a look on how you can export data from the CYROS WebGIS and upload the data either to update informations about existing datasets or to upload new elements to said datasets. For this showcase, let's first move to Sant'Arcangelo di Romagna. Maybe let's scale back a little bit, perfect, and turn on the cycling routes layer. As you can see, this cycling route on the right is colored in a way that suggests that it is planned, not completed. If I use the identify function and I click on this geometry, as you can see on the right, I can see that its state is planned, not completed. As I could, just like I could infer from the symbology of the geometry. So let's say that I want to download this cycling route and change its information to specify that actually the project went on and the cycling route was completed. In this case, I can use the button Export Data. By clicking on this button, I can choose between exporting in a shapefile format or in a GeoPackage format. I will choose the first one. As you can see, by clicking the button, a new tab appears in the map management window called Export Shapefile. You have two options. The first one exports an entire layer, and you can choose among the 6 layers of the project, while the second one allows the user to design a circle or anyway design a polygon, and whatever feature lay below the polygon are extracted and exported. So I will choose the second one because I'm not interested in updating the entire network. So now I just click and drag my left mouse button, and when I release it, as you can see, I have the option to export. By clicking on it, a message will appear that says that the export was done successfully, and I will have a new file in my download folder. Now I will just cut this file and bring it inside in my desktop where I've already prepared a folder for it called the cycling routes. And then let me just drop it. Okay, perfect. Now, as you can see, if I open this shapefile in my QGIS project, okay, you will see that it contains, and let me just change the symbology just to give it to show it more clearly. Okay, perfect. As you can see, there's only this small part of the cycling routes that corresponds to the area below my circle. Let me just click on cancel and move back to panning. Okay, perfect. So now that I have my polygon, my line inside of my project, I can update the information about it. As we said before, if I inspect the element, I can see that the state corresponds to a value of 5. And we have to change this value to 1 because in our scenario this cycling infrastructure was completed. Just a reminder, the various codes that you can enter inside these fields are shown in better detail inside of the Excel spreadsheets that describe each different data models. For example, if we go back to cycling routes, the spreadsheet that corresponds to this kind of data, as you can see by, let me just zoom a little bit, okay. The state field can have values between 1 and 5 plus the usual 95, 98, 99 for unknown, unassigned, and other. Our data had a value of 5 for the state that is planned, not completed or anything. We needed to change this value to 1. So let me just uh, update this value. So 1, okay, and now I can save. Okay, perfect. Now that we have updated this value, we can upload this new data to the WebGIS so that it can be updated also in the database and in the interface. So let me just go back, and now I have to click on import data. Once again, I have the option to import a shapefile or a geopackage. We will choose to import a shapefile. So we needed to pack our data in a zip file like we did before. So okay, okay. Now the interface asks me which kind of data I'm going to upload. This is needed for the procedure in the backend to update the information about that geometry. And so I have to choose cycling routes, and then I can select my zip. There we go. And okay, now I have uploaded my shapefile successfully. And if I just refresh the interface and go back to Gelo di Romagna, let me just put myself back in the same uh, area, general area of before. Okay, and now if I turn on the pist oh, I'm sorry, I'm in Italian, let me turn it in English. Okay, perfect. If I turn on the cycling routes level, as you can see, the symbology has changed because I changed the value of state, and now the symbology is corresponding to an existing or completed cycling infrastructure. Finally, let's take a look at another scenario, that is adding a completely new data element to the database behind the CYROS WebGIS. For example, we might be interested in updating data and showing that actually there's a new cycling infrastructure that goes along this road and straight in the city center of Sant'Arcangelo. In this case, we cannot export data and update its content. We have to draw a completely new geometry from scratch. And in this case, what I recommend is to first of all work once again in QGIS, and to simplify the creation of the geometry, start with a blank template. We've shared blank templates for each data model. What's a blank template is simply a shapefile with a specific structure of the attribute table, so that the informations that you put in are coherent with the data model, but there's no geometry. So you have to fill it yourself. But once you create the geometry, you will be asked to enter values in the exact same fields of the data model. So it saves a lot of time. So let's pick my blank shapefile. I've put it inside of cycling routes as well, maybe let me just rename the folders to better navigate the folder structures. In cycling routes, we have the routes that we downloaded from the WebGIS and updated and re-uploaded. So let me just change the name to updated. Now I will probably get an error. Yes, exactly, because they are still in the project. So let me just move it, try again. Okay, perfect. Now I can create a new folder called new. Okay, this is my template. I will open it in a moment inside of the project. Okay, so now I have a better distinction between the two. Let me just put the updated version back, and let me change a little bit the symbol. Okay, so it's okay, perfect. Now we can see it. And now I just have to load in the project my template. As you can see, there are no geometries inside of it. You can see that by clicking on Show Feature Count or by opening the attribute table. But the fields, the attributes are the same of our data model. We have ID, state for whatever reason is in the fifth position, type, traffic, limits, and so on. So basically, is a copy of the data model without the geometry, without spatial data in it. Okay, so now I just have to draw a new cycling infrastructure from here to the city center. I will just zoom a little bit to allow for more precise drawing. For whatever reason, my mouse is kind of glitchy today, but we will manage. Okay, perfect. So once again, let me change the symbology so we can see it better. Let's make it something a little bit flashier, like a really strong light blue, and make it a little bit bigger. Okay, perfect. Now, to draw, finally we get to draw. I click on this option and then on Add Line Feature. And I also activate this snapping feature of QGIS so that I can snap my new geometry directly to the end of the previous one, because in this scenario the cycling infrastructure was completed up to this point, and then it was planned a new part of it that will bring a tourist to the main square of Sant'Arcangelo. So I have to create a new geometry that is snaps to the end of the one from before. So I will just, I don't know how much it's visible for you guys, but I'm drawing a line up to this point. Okay, now if I click on the right mouse button, I basically tell QGIS that I finished drawing my line, and that I have to now I can enter data values inside of the attribute table. In my case, I'm interested in the type. Um, Okay, let's just make it even simpler. Let me just put the value 98 that corresponds to unassigned to basically every attribute except for the one I'm interested in. So let me just put 98 in the type, 98 the surface. State, now I'm interested in this one because I have to enter the value 5 that corresponds to planned. Then 98 here, 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 with 98 as well. And now source. Source is and drone update. You can enter whatever kind of source you want here. Basically, it might be, I don't know, the reference number of a certain municipality project or something like that. Then update date is today, of course. Same to update validity. Update source is the field that corresponds to whoever did the update. So in my case, let me just write Fabio sister. Okay. Source ID, this is actually not necessary because it's a field that contains the primary key of the geometry if that geometry comes from another kind of a data set. So in this case, we've just created it, so it doesn't come from any previous data sets, so we can leave it empty. And ID can be left empty as well because it will be added by the database once we import this geometry. But we can just enter whatever number, let me say something preposterous like 200,000. Okay. Okay, as you can see, I've already created in just a few steps a new geometry that is in line with the data model so that it can be uploaded seamlessly with the interface of the WebGIS. Let me just add another part of this new cycling infrastructure that ends here in the plaza. Once again, let me just put 98.5 here and 98 everywhere. Okay. Date is today. Update source. Um, okay. Now that we have our new geometries, we can just save this new layer. And now we can just make a zip file and upload it to the interface to see the update online. First of all, let me save the project, and then I have to remove this data because otherwise I will get an error when I try to create a zip file. So let me just remove it. Okay, now I can just create a zip of new routes compressed to zip file. Perfect. Now, if I go back to the interface, I can click on import data. Once again, I will choose import shapefile, cycling routes, and now I select the zip file of the new routes. So start new routes, perfect. And if I click on upload, okay, I get success message. And if I refresh the interface and go back to Sant'Arcangelo, okay, I should be seeing exactly a new a new layer, a new element of this dataset that corresponds to the new. Let me just. I always forget to turn back the English language. Okay. As I said, we now have a new geometry inside of the dataset that corresponds to the new part of the cycling infrastructure that is planned. And as you can see, the symbology is in line with its value, which is planned. And if we inspect this geometry, you can see exactly that every value except for state is every attribute is unassigned, while the attribute state is planned as we wanted. Okay, so basically this wraps up our small series, and I hope these videos will be informative and useful for you. Thank you very much for your kind attention.